to look with this select command clauses, which is part of InfinityQ. So in this part, we were towards taking up the different clauses. Different clauses of SQL. So why we are going to use the different clauses was we need to retrieve the query result, and that query result should be very optimal, and it should give the user an appropriate way of answering the things. So the very first way was to take up a wildcard asterisk and the table name. Second thing was to put attributes and thereby take up the table. Third thing was to bring up a condition using where clause. So we are aware of different clauses in SQL, where, from, group by, order by, having, etc. And we were talking about the from clause, and then after from is completed, then we are going to put this where, and thereby we are going to rail up a condition, and when a condition is going to meet up, then the appropriate things which are going to fall in that, they are going to be displayed. So let us use one filtering column here. When I'm going to say filtering column, I have ID, name, date of joining, salary, etc. So what happens was we are now using a filtering column, and it says from, instead of ID, name, date of joining, salary, bonus, etc., you can bring up the 2 or 3 attributes, whatever necessary, and that too from an employee. So we will be getting these 3 columns. Yes, we mentioned we need to bring up the 3 columns at that case. Next one was to see some expression here. When we are going to look up into an expression, you can see that salary into 2. So here we have salary 7,000, 75,000, 25,000, 30,000, and 40,000. So now these salaries are going to be doubled, and they are going to be displayed. Now an expression was that we are going to mention a asterisk to the column, and thereby we will generate it. So when we hit on the run button, you can see 40,000 converted to 80,000, 30,000 converted to 60,000. In this model, we are able to look up into the queries. Another important factor was to see we do not have any duplicates. If we do not have any duplicates, then we need to get this by extracting the data from the distinct class. So wherever distinct is there, we are going to pull out a unique items from that case. So can I select department from employees? Now at this case, we have ICP, ETA, and ICP. So now if I am moving this with a word called as distinct, DISTINCT. So now when I am going to hit this button, now you can see we have uses the clause called as distinct. Therefore, the occurrences are going to be minimized. So ETA followed by ICP, thereby Earlier we have 2 occurrences of ICP and 4 occurrences of ETA. So there they have been minimized. There are some of technical ways where we can use the where clause in this context. So here you can impose an employee table with ID, name, date of joining, salary, bonus, department, and designation. Now we are illustrating the demo for a where clause, and in this where clause what we are going to do is we are going to select ID, name, and from the employee table where the condition it is saying salary was greater than 40,000. So salary was greater than 40,000. So we ignore E, we ignore Jack, and we ignore A because their value was less than 40,000. So these 3 tuples, ID number 3, ID number 4, and ID number 5, they will be ignored. Only the 2 tuples, tuple 1 and tuple 2, they will arise. So now let us check this answer. Yeah, ID 1 is James and ID 2 is Ethan. So these 2 are going to be returned when we are going to use a where condition. The 2 we are going to use a greater than symbol. Let us see this between content. Now in this between content you can verify that the between operator it is used to check the values within a range. So what was the range? The range we are going to get a boundaries that is between 30,000 and 50,000. So we are going to distinguish this salary component and it is arising between 30,000 and it is arriving between 50,000. Now let us look into this data between 30,000 and 50,000. So 75,000 is not in range, 90,000 is not in range, 25,000 is not in range, and even you can say 30,000, so that is inclusive, and 40,000. So we can expect Jack Abraham and Ayad Muhammad. So these 2 will be the tuples which we are going to pursue it as an answer here. So now you can see the tuples which are going to be 4 and 5. Those 2 items are going to be returned. Why we returned only these 2? The reason was we are going to have an identifier. We do have a name. So those 2 only are going to be procured and their salary was between 30,000 and 50,000. So this is how we are going to bring up the where clause conditions. Another way of taking up where was, let us see, it is a in clause. So in is going to be operated with to check for multiple values of an attributes. So it is equivalent to or multiple equality condition of an attribute or an individual values. So now you can see here the select ID employee name from employee where ID in 2, 3. So we are going to give this 2 and 3 if they are going to be part of an employee table, then only they are going to be displayed. So select ID employee name from employees where ID in 2, 3. So we are just mentioning it the attribute name which is inside a table, and that too we are going to use this where clause. So 2 and 3, that is E and Emily, they are going to be returned. The another way was you can see here there is not in null, is not null, and in null. So there are the different ways of looking up the things. So here in clause contains duplicate values, then the database server will remove duplicates from existing from executing the query. So now you can see ETA department was repeated for the twice. ETA was repeated for the twice. So obviously, even though the ETA value was repeated for 2 times, but internally the Oracle server, it is going to move the value and it puts only one ETA value. So now what we are going to expect was we need ID, we need an employee name from the employee table. So what we are going to expect was we are going to expect that we need to get ID and name and the department should be ETA. So when we are going to move in this word ETA department, it is containing 3 tuples, that is for tuple number 2, tuple number 3 and tuple number 4. So we will expect 3 rows to be displayed, that is tuple number 2, tuple number 3 and tuple number 4. In this way we are going to bring up the where class content. There are some more ways of putting the where class in a complicated issues, etc. So let us check how it is going up. So when we are going to use this character data, it is going to store the trailing spaces, so ending spaces. While filtering them using equality operator, we need to provide the trailing spaces. So spaces are also going to be considered. And now you can see here, select ID name designation from employees, where designation is equals to some PM. So we have PM, SC, SSC and TA. So we do have 2 occurrences, and that PM, it is going to be part of a character data type. Now when we hit on this aspect, we are going to bring out these 2 things. Now let us see, I'm going to give a space and see what happens. So if such is a case, again it does not provide trailing spaces, so obviously that space what we have given, it is not going to be considered and it is going to be removed. After where class, we do have another attribute comparison operators where we are going to use a like pattern. So like pattern, what it is going to do is it is going to make a match to the character patterns, and in general we call like it is going to be a wildcard search, and it is going to support percentage, which it is going to match any number of characters, and underscore, which it is going to match only one occurrence of a character. So when we are going to work with this like attribute, so this attribute, it is going to take up the character pattern. So in this character pattern, it is going to use up the wild cards, and in this wild card, yeah, it is going to check up the percentages and it is going to check up the underscore value. So these 2 items, it is going to be part of the characters to look up. So now let us see how we can bring out the queries, etc. So now we need to display the ID, we need to display the name from employee, where employee name is going to be like E percentage. So percentage will match with any number of characters. So the first should be E and rest can be any. So if such is the case, tuple E, tuple 3, tuple E, tuple 2 starts with E, tuple 3 starts with E. Therefore, these 2 are going to be the 2 outcomes what we are going to insist upon. So this is what we call it as start pattern. Now let us check the end pattern. So when we are going to say it is an end pattern, so the previous values can be anything. The previous values can be anything, and the last character should be R, and the last character should be R. So you have James Potter, we have MLA Renner, So what we can expect was we can expect an identifier 1 and we can expect identifier 3. Why we are going to expect these two? The reason was the previous characters can be anything, but the end character they should terminate with R. So that is the reason why we are going to give this percentage R. So when we are going to give this percentage R, now we have an identifier and we have a name, and that it is going to bring up with James Potter and Emily Rayner. So we get 1 and 3 as the two outputs of the records. Next one, the third thing was we have anywhere pattern. Now you can see the like operator, and what it is going to tell us, previous characters can be anything, after characters can be anything, but in between M should be there. So if such is the case, now you can get 5, you can get this 3, and you can get this 1. So these records are going to be the outcomes of the values. So we just mentioned, right, M. So M is available in fifth one, M is available in fourth one, M is available in third one, M is available in first one. So previous character can be anything, next character can be anything, it may exist, it may not exist, that it is going to take up. So where we call it as anywhere pattern, and M is going to be repeated in the 4 records of what we are going to mention. So that is what regarding the anywhere pattern. And then let us talk about the fixed pattern. When we are going to talk about the fixed pattern, now you can see that exactly 2 elements, exactly 3 elements, exactly 2 elements should be there. Exactly 3 elements should be there, exactly 2 elements should be there, exactly 2 elements should be there, exactly 3 elements should be there, and exactly 2 elements should be there. So in this model, we are going to say where date of joining. So you can see here the date of joining was the date of joining was 1st February, was 1st January, 1st July, 1st April. So we have these as an items. So now what we are going to hit was we work with a fixed pattern, and those items are going to be displayed here. So that is what we gave here as an exact thing. Next comes was the mixed pattern. In this mixed pattern, you can see here underscore will match exactly only one character. It should have at least one character before A, and after A it can be anything. So now you can expect James record 1, then you can expect Jack record 4, and even you can you can expect this. So we are expecting 2 rows, right? We are expecting 2 rows. Why didn't we expect fifth one? The reason was before A it should have only one character, but at the fifth record we have 2 characters. So that is the reason why it was not treated up. So we will be getting only the 2 records as this case. So you can see we have employee table, and we have given only employee, then it says table or view is not going to be there. Another example was select ID and name from employee, but we have name as an e-name. Then what type of error it is going to occur means it says name as a invalid. In this way, SQL is also going to generate an errors, and we should get what type of errors are going to happen in this model we need to get. So order of execution of a SQL query. So in general, we know SQL has from clause, where clause, the select command. It does has a select command has a from clause, where clause, group by clause, having and order by, and it is supported with some keywords like distinct, etc. So now, if such is the case, then how will be the order of executing the select clause will be was, it is going to execute the things in an order called as F, J, W, G, H, S, D, and O. So this is the order which we need to memorize the things F, J, W, G, H, S, and D, and O. So now you can see here, F stands for a from clause, J stands for join clause, W stands for where clause, G stands for group by clause, H stands for having clause, and S stands for the select clause, and D stands for a distinct clause, distinct keyword, and O stands for an order by. So this is what we have to check. So now you can see this SQL command here with the select command, and select must be always be executed after the where clause. So first of all, where clause is going to be patterned, ID is equals to 1, thereby it gives up to the from, and then it goes with the select. So in this way, the filtering is going to happen towards the order of executing the query. So now here is an example. So select ID employee name from employees where salary is greater than 30,000. First of all, 30,000 salary is greater than 30,000 will be executed. The reason was we are going to use this where clause, and thereby it checks up with the from clause, and then then it is going to move up to uh, the select class here. So salary was greater than 30,000. So 30,000 will not be considered. 25,000 will not be considered. And we expect 75,000, 90,000, and 80,000. What it is going to pick up the columns? It is going to pick up the columns as ID and employee name. So we have ID and employee name greater than 30,000. So we get these three attributes: James, Ethan, and Ayaz. So this is the sequence. So from clause, it is going to identify the employee query table. Yeah, then it is taking up the where clause. So when it is going to take up the where clause, it drops out the contents which was not fitting up with the condition. There is no group by, then it goes to the select class, and then it displays the three results. So in this model, we are going to execute the SQL query. Now, this is what another way of putting the Oracle order of execution of a query. Now we have the table ID, James, date of joining, salary, bonus, department, and designation. Now we are going to have select distinct designation from employee where bonus is not null. So this was the check. So first of all, how it goes was, it goes with the from clause. So from which table the data has to be taken up. So now you can see here the table was taken up. Then it verifies whether there is some joint condition. It is not there. Then it goes to the where clause. So in this where clause, what it is going to apply with a condition, it sees that bonus is not null. So it verifies on the condition bonus is not null. So that means it eliminates ID4 and ID5 because bonus field is going to be removed, and it checks the condition what it is going to fit, that is 1000, 1200 and 100. So the condition is going to be checked. So only these three elements are going to be taken up. Do we have group by? No. Do we have having? No. Then it goes to the select command. Yeah, it goes to the select command. In this, what it has to get? It has to get the distinct designation. So after select, then it is going to look up into the distinct. So yeah, of course, you have distinct designations. So we have PM, PM, and SC. There are three records. In these three records, PM is going to be the duplicate value. So obviously, it moves off 1 PM and it gets the final answer. But before that, it is just now taken up PM, PM, SC. Now it is going to apply the distinct operation. So when it is going to apply the distinct operation, then it is going to display the two fields. So in this way, the query is going to be executed appropriately. So we talked about the order of query execution.